Shinobi Shawn.
What is going on?
It's good to see you, my friend.
Honored to be on here finally.
Dude, I've been waiting to get you on for a long time.
Yeah.
But finally the stars aligned.
Oh, yeah.
And we're finally here.
Yes, sir.
So you obviously started doing this type of thing before me, but obviously you're a streamer.
Yeah.
What made you want to stream? I think the people want to know.
So right around the time COVID was going around, and I was on campus when the evacuation happened.
Yeah, tell me your story when that happened.
So
everyone has their own.
I was still in my theater degree when it was happening. So this was like early 2020. So I think it was around March when we had to evacuate.
Did you change degrees?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
At that time I was a theater minor.
Yep.
And I because of COVID I ended up changing and dropping that. But pretty much when that happened, I was in class and we all had an email. It was like, hey, like this is going on. Everyone's got to go. And I'm seeing everyone, running, the traffic's lining up. And at that time, not a lot of people were taking it as seriously as we did, like when it really started getting serious. So I was just letting everyone go because I didn't want to deal with traffic. But then we went through that weird transition where like there was no classes for a little bit and then it came back and we're all online. During that time, Warzone just came out for Modern Warfare at the time. Mm-hmm. And one of my friends gave me his old capture card because back when we were in middle school, he used to record gameplay when he was playing Advanced Warfare for YouTube.
Yep.
Gave me the capture card, and at the time, when I was trying to record it, my laptop was really bad. Like, I knew nothing about computers.
What kind of laptop did you have?
Some old HP model that was like an i3 processor, so it was not really that good.
Right.
So with all the free time we had being home, I started looking up like gaming PCs, what to know about them, and it turned into like originally I was gonna buy a pre-build, and then it got into more like I want to learn how to build one.
Yeah.
So
your stories and your process, it was so satisfying to watch you build it over time.
Yeah.
So nice.
So over the course of I want to say 3-ish months, I was getting parts together for my setup. I pretty much did what you did here. I pretty much did with my room. I turned it into my own gaming setup, streaming setup, and also where I do work. So early September, I think it was September 9th is when I did my first stream. And it's because like at the time I'm like, what else am I going to do if we're going to be stuck home all day? I already game, might as well do something with it. And I didn't think that I would become as passionate about it as I am now. And the thing is like, I'm not doing it because like, I want to be famous or like I'm going to make this my living. I'm just doing it because it's fun and it's something I enjoy to do. And if there are people who are going to be there vibing with me, if you can't tell, I like interactions. I could be playing a game that's competitive like Call of Duty and I'll be doing so bad, but since I'm talking to people, I'm vibing with it. That's
such a vibe. I like that. I respect that. We need more people like that in this world. That's exactly what you said. That's exactly what I did here. What I did here. And I constantly try and tell our lovely listeners and or viewers, and you see what I did there? See how I just stopped? Yeah, do me a favor, go subscribe, like, do all that fun stuff. I'm just kidding. I appreciate the support though, in all seriousness. But I constantly try and tell people to get in on it now. Yeah. While because you always hear this, I'm sure you have. The 20s is a lot of people see this as like the stepping stone for the rest of your life, like this decade. Yeah. But it's also the decade where we have room to fuck up. Yeah. So might as well have fun with it.
Yeah, no, literally.
Try new things.
Like, wherever you are right now, it's like, with me, I'm never really sticking with one thing. And, like, whenever, like, I'm always trying to, like, try something new. Whether it sticks or not, it's okay. But at least I know, like, if it's something I would enjoy or not. And a lot of, me, I'm a person of, like, a lot of hobbies. So whenever I, like, invest into something, if I know, like, it's something I have somewhat interest in, I'll invest into it and put, like, full effort into it.
Yeah, for real. You're the man of many talents.
Yeah.
And we're probably going to cover all of them today. Yeah. So, but first things first, because I haven't finished it, but I have to bring it up. Shinobi Shawn. I never knew what a shinobi was until I saw Naruto. That has to be where you got the name, right?
Somewhat, yeah. So as a kid growing up, I did watch a lot of anime. Naruto being one of them. I'm not too invested in that like as I was before, so I can't remember much. Yeah. The actual source behind how I got Shinobi Shawn was when I was trying to make my channel. Obviously, I had to think of a name. Couldn't think of anything, and then I thought of something great. Me being a martial artist, there was this game that came out 2017 that I invested a lot of time in called For Honor. which was
Really?
from
You
Ubisoft.
played that?
Yeah, I played. It was my 2017 Valentine because it came out on February 14th.
Nice.
When season 1 of that game began, they introduced a new hero called the Shinobi, which was my main character for the last however many years I've played that game. And It was the nastiest thing. I would be undefeatable anytime I played him. And the best part, it was the weakest character in statistics.
Really?
In terms of all the heroes in the game. It had the lowest amount of health, but he was one of the fastest.
Is that the game where everyone fights in a coliseum?
That's one of the maps.
Is that one of them? Yeah.
That's one of the maps. It's typically a 4v4. Each person can choose like a certain hero to play as, and from 4 now, but originally it was 3. You could be a Viking, a knight, or you could be part of the samurai.
Gotcha.
So when you start up the game, you choose which group you want to be.
But it's not set up fighting wise like Mortal Kombat, right? Like, is it more like free
rangey? It was a lot more in depth.
Yeah.
So you had like, instead of like button matching, you had to learn the certain combos and timings of like how to fight, parry, block, and all that type of stuff.
Fire. So, given where you are now, you and I started around similar times because I think you started
a little bit after.
I did start after you.
Yeah.
But during COVID, pretty much.
Yeah.
So, looking back at it now, how much more advanced do you feel as a streamer? How much more confident do you feel in that realm?
Much more advanced in terms of my knowledge because like back when I started there, I had to. My original overlay, like if you look at some of my old clips on my Twitch, my original overlay and all those animations were pre-made. There are a bunch of different like sites you can buy to start off as a streamer to get overlays for how you want your stream to look. So that's what I was sticking with at the time. But then like I would say almost a year into streaming, I started teaching myself how to do OBS plugins to make special animations. I taught myself a little bit of Adobe After Effects to make my animations on my logos and stuff.
Sick.
And I've helped a lot of other people set up their streams, help them get into Twitch. I've helped a lot of people get Twitch affiliates now. So I definitely feel more comfortable with it. There are obviously times where like it's a little not discouraging, but it's like, it's hard to get yourself to just, keep going at it. But, the thing about a lot, and this can go for anything in life, is that you just have to be consistent with it.
Yeah, for sure. Discipline. Wow, there was literally a saying I heard this morning. I think it was like discipline. Not waits for no one, but it was, I don't know. There's something. It's just you can't be consistent without discipline.
Exactly.
And that's yeah, I definitely agree with that statement. But it's funny. So when it comes to you, and I think about it, there's like 4 different paths. If you were to just stop everything that you could pursue. Right now, from objectively speaking, from what I've seen, so you could either go all in and become a streamer. You could go all in and just become a full-time certified bodylifter. You could stop everything and become a full-time certified parkour artist. Or you could stop everything and become a full-time certified martial artist.
Yeah.
If you were to rank those 4 things, how would you rank them? I have nothing written down, by the way. That's off the dome.
No, that's pretty much it. Like, if there was going to be a 5th one, it would probably be, like, computer engineer.
Maybe even 6 because of theater.
Yeah. The thing is, like, I never, like, needed, like, that theater degree to really get into it just because, like...
No, it's fun.
Yeah. Okay, I would say number 1, I would definitely put into the lifting. Whether it be body, like, getting
Dude, your progress has been sick.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Yeah. So I would definitely put that number 1 just because that's the thing that would just, for the most part, like I like being active, so that just keeps me sane, Yeah. It's fun to do and you feel good.
And did you start lifting during COVID too? Because
I did.
Remember, weren't you like lifting in your garage with like little dumbbells to start off?
I did. When it first started breaking out, I went into the basement and got a bunch of our old weights out, and I'm like, I got to do something.
Yeah. And then it just consumed you, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. That would then be followed by the streaming, just because that's like what I like to do in like free time. Next would probably be the martial artist and tricking, just because I've been doing that pretty much all my life. Although in terms of like if that was supposed to be a career, that's typically pretty hard to just keep as a career. Unless you start making a business out of it. There are other people who I've known who do tricking. That started up their own businesses and they're really thriving. Like Adrenaline is one of the bigger brands. There's like Kojo's Trick Lab. He made a business out of like coaching people. One of my other buddies from North Carolina, his name's Adam.
Hey, shout out Adam.
Adam Davenport. That's my boy. He started up Shapes Mag, or Shapes, which is one of the brands or one of the businesses that's really trying to just keep tricking to its roots, which is it's more about the trickers than the business aspect.
Yeah.
So it's more about the community. So that'd be my first three. Next up would probably be the computer engineering stuff, just because like I can help people build computers, making setups and stuff like that.
It's such a handy thing to know.
It's been a big help for me because I've been able to like, now that like I have a job where like I have to sell computers and stuff, like I can tell people like what would be the best way to go about things, and I actually have knowledge of it rather than going in blindly.
Right.
Lastly, be parkour. I do parkour kinda. The thing is like people, because of how generalized the term parkour is, people will kind of see me do a flip and instantly go, "Oh, he does parkour." It's like, no, I'm a tricker, which is a different sport. But like parkour, I coach it. I coach at a parkour gym, so I gotta do that. But
so if somebody calls you a parkour artist, do you take that? Are you offended by that?
No, I don't. I mean, I just shrug that off my shoulder just because it's not what it is, but at the same time, I understand why people think that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not gonna be upset by it because it's technically all of it is under movement. That's like what we call it, like a movement sport. So that's like breakdancing, gymnastics, any of the martial arts, tricking, parkour, free running. That's all under movement.
You seem like the next thing that you could possibly get into, and correct me if I'm wrong. Do you know how to fix cars or work on cars?
That's what I'm scared about because I'm a computer guy, and the phrase that goes with lots of computer people is that computer guys are just car guys on a budget. So that
really,
yeah. If you check out like any of like bigger like YouTubers when it comes to computer stuff, a lot of them are into cars and know a lot about cars. I'm still learning about them, but I know at some point I'm going to get into it.
Yeah, I could totally see that for you.
Yeah.
so tell me how you got into tricking and all this stuff, because
yeah,
you've been doing it for years.
Yeah,
I've seen you, all these videos. Haven't you been doing it since like middle school?
Yeah. So it started off with Taekwondo, which is a Korean martial arts, which is based around kicks. That's kind of like the biggest roots when it comes to tricking.
Yeah.
I did Taekwondo since I was 4. I stopped when I was 19, which was when COVID happened. So like traditional Taekwondo experience, I've stopped, but I did. Yeah. So that's about 15 years of experience.
And what'd you get all the way to?
I got up to 3rd degree black belt.
How many degrees are there?
I don't remember what it is to get grandmaster. I think it's 5th. I could be wrong. I've been out of practice.
You should get back into it. Finish the job.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah, you got so far, might as well. So wait, real quick. So would you say that your hands are licensed to kill?
Probably not so much hand. I mean, I've done some like kickboxing stuff. Probably not my hands. Probably feet, but
absolutely.
Yeah,
that's nuts. That's sick.
So I did from 4 to 19. I did Taekwondo.
Yeah.
From age 14 to now, I'm 21 now. So about 7 years. The last 7 years of that is when I got into tricking. So at my old Taekwondo school, I was one of the more acrobatic, not licensed, but more acrobatic capable people on our team. We had a performance team.
Yeah.
I was the one who could do most of the big kicks at the time, which was funny because I was only like 14 at the time.
When you say big kick, what do you mean by that?
Like there's a lot of simple kicks. Like I'm trying to think about how to make it easy. Like if you watch like the MMA, and there's like some people who do a spinning tornado kick.
Yeah.
Spinning tornado round. A version of that is called the 540 kick, which is that kick. But when you do the roundhouse after the spin, you jump and you have to land on the kicking leg.
Ooh.
And I was one of the few people at the school who could do that, and I had one of the highest kicks, like for my height.
So did you ever have to? You can correct me if I'm wrong. I've seen videos of certain martial arts schools, and for certain exams, the kids had to kick like 3 wooden planks, like slowly rising up, like 1, 2, 3. Did you ever have to do anything like that?
Not for testing, but for shows I did.
So you're able to?
Yeah,
that's sick.
Yeah. So I was one of the more people who was like, I want to get into the bigger tricks and stuff. So one of my instructors who like stopped working there a little after I started doing flips, he taught me how to do an aerial, which is a cartwheel with no hands. That was my first flip, not counting the actual cartwheel itself.
Yeah.
And he taught me in less than 10 minutes. I had that flip down in the same day he taught me it.
Where did this no fear thing come from for you, and always just naturally being able to do this?
Honestly,
where does that stem from? Are you like Tom Cruise with that part of your brain that doesn't? Honestly, that's what they say. They say that part of his brain or whatever, your fear sensor, it's just gone.
To be honest, I think it's because when you start off with any types of flips and you're younger, you're not really afraid of too much. And that
because you start at such a young age.
Yeah, and your body can be a lot more forgiving. Like when I teach the kids at my parkour gym how to do backflips and other type of stuff, they'll literally fall, like roll, and then get right back up and then just go at it again. Like when you're at that age, you're not afraid of like really too much.
Yeah.
There are points where like, obviously there's some things that you're going to be a little bit adamant to trying out, like do your first backflip. But like once you get that first one, you're on top of the world. So when I got that aerial, I'm like, oh, well now I want to do more. So I spent the next few months trying to do a backflip, and the thing about that was what really started tricking for me, because I couldn't do backflips for months, and it's not because mentally wise, it was literally because of physically wise. Wow. I'm not a skinny dude. I'm a big boy.
Yeah.
So when I finally landed that, once I learned backflip, every other flip that you see me post on social media, I've taught myself.
So did you have to like work out for that? Did you have to? What does it take to do that? Is it all in the legs? It was squat a lot.
Well, at the time I wasn't even working out. One is obviously mentality. Once you get that first one out the way, you're not scared of it anymore.
Envision yourself doing it.
And to be completely honest, I think my time failing backflips made me lose weight to be able to backflip.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
That's fire.
And then so pretty much throughout the next years, I just started working on like the next flip to level up and just getting more advanced with it.
So what's like the pinnacle of tricking? Like what's like the ultimate thing you could possibly do that the human body would let you do?
Well, for my body is a cartwheel double full, which is I guess you could say a back twist or backflip with 2 full twists in there.
So cartwheel, backflip.
So 2 spins in the air as I'm flipping. Yeah.
Oh my god.
That is my best flip. I haven't done it in a while because I got injured last summer.
Hey, don't break your neck now.
Yeah. But for me, that is my most advanced trick. For if you see other people, they are a lot more they're a lot faster.
Right. So, yeah, I know you brought up your injury, and was this the same injury that set you back a little bit when it came to weightlifting?
A little bit, yeah.
And what exactly did you hurt?
So it was my left ankle. That flip I just said. Yeah. That's the flip that messed up my ankle. Pretty much. Was it a sprain or a break? It must have been a sprain, or might have like torn like a slight tear in one of the muscles or tendons.
Yeah.
Pretty much in tricking, there's stuff called tricking battles, which is like, you do your best combos and flips, and like you get judged. Whoever wins moves on to the next round. There's a tricking gathering that happens in Connecticut every year called Battle of Fury. And I've gone for the past 2 years now. I went in June, and I was battling one of the coaches there, and I wanted to do that flip because I've been consistent with that move. But the thing was, 1, I've never done it in a battle. 2, I didn't know whether to open the battle with that trick with my biggest move or end the battle with my biggest move. But the takeoff is if I end it with my biggest move, I am now tired. And I'm gassed.
Ooh, it's like a double-edged sword.
And the third issue was we had battle lights on. Pretty much, it was about this dim. Imagine trying to spin. Imagine trying to spin in the air 2 times and not see, and all you see is pitch black.
Ooh.
So that part screwed me up. I have a video of it. I posted on. You might have seen it.
Yeah.
It's when I had that that chowder audio when nothing can go wrong.
Yeah.
So as I landed, I couldn't see, and didn't get that much airtime. So my ankle with my toes, they got pressed up towards my shin.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
How did that feel? Or were you so in the moment where it was like you knew it was messed up? But
at the time, I'm like, man, I failed. But then like I tried standing up. I'm like, I can't put weight on this. So over the next few months, like I'm like, oh, I'm out of commission, man. Because if this is my left foot and this is my right foot, and I'm trying to flex my toes, I could get my right foot this much, and I could get my left foot that much. So I couldn't jump off of it. I couldn't run. I literally couldn't do anything. And like, that's why this year I'm trying to be so consistent in the gym.
Right.
Because I was out of any type of training for 5+ months now, and I haven't done a single flip. I haven't been able to. I lost all motivation to go to the gym just because I couldn't really do anything.
Yeah.
But within the last, I would say three-ish months, I've been able to jump. I've been able to flip again. I'm actually able to trick again finally, and now that you see, I'm going back to the gym. So it's feeling pretty good so far.
To start off lightly, do you start off on like a trampoline when you're getting back into that and like recovery, or like do you just go
Some people do, but I'm one of the type of movement people that actually likes learning all their flips on flat and not doing trampoline.
Yeah. Well, why is that?
For me, I like the feeling of what the ground will feed back to me compared to a trampoline, because trampoline, you can learn the flips, but your timing is going to be different compared to a floor because the floor is just there. Trampoline, you got to sink into it and wait for it to give back before you actually go.
I love the way you just worded all that.
Yeah.
That was so perfectly executed. I love that. What I love to ask people is that everyone has a story. And obviously you and I are from the same town, went to the same high school.
Yeah.
If you were to compare yourself now to you then, or have a little chat with little Shawn, what would you talk to him about? Or like what would you want to tell him?
If I was to talk to my past person, like if my past self, I'd probably be like, you lived that time the way you should have, which was just enjoying the time.
Would you say you had a good high school experience?
I definitely, like, there's obviously like some things like that were absolutely tough, like that. I just don't want to like I don't mind talking about it, but like
I got you.
I would never go through that again.
Absolutely.
But my time there, especially like with the people when I did theater in my junior year and all my time in band, like that time, those were the times I loved, and that was like when I was like being an idiot, having fun with that, and going into college. Like when I got out of high school, going to college, I had one idea of what I was going to do.
Yeah.
But now it's completely different.
So did you know you were going to go right to Central?
Yeah, I did. I knew that I wanted to go to Central.
Was there any other schools on the radar?
It was originally gonna be UConn, but at the time when I was graduating in high school, I wanted to do theater for the start, and CCSU's theater program compared to UConn's, I saw that and also I went to CCSU for, at the time they were doing a what was it called? It was pretty much a rehearsal at the time. They were doing Sweeney Todd.
That's right, they were.
And that's actually when I met, well, not met, but I saw him for the first time in person before I actually met him at freshman orientation. But that's when I saw Ricky.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the second time I ever saw that legend.
Yeah. So,
I gotcha.
At that time, I'm like, yeah, this is what I want to do. And then COVID happened and I built computers, so that changed.
So now that we're here, so what do you project for yourself in the long run? Like, what are some bucket list things you want to accomplish, or just like what do you expect of yourself when you're like 30?
So one of the obviously I want to get into, for career wise, if I'm trying to keep it smart, probably a lot more of the computer engineering stuff.
Yeah.
Luckily, one of my advisor at Central said, like, other than the actual hands-on aspect, I'd be good in engineering sales. Because I already have experience with my job now, and two, because of my theater background, that'd be really good.
Yeah.
When you're trying to make sales. So like one of the brands I'm not sponsored by them. I'd love to be or work for them in the future is Corsair, which is a big computer brand that they own Elgato, which Elgato won. I have a lot of their products. I just submitted an application to them to get sponsored by them.
Nice.
So a lot of their stream gear I use, Corsair, literally half my PC is Corsair components. And I looked at their positions. Obviously, you can do some of their their services for custom builds, but they also have media positions, whether it comes to filming, editing, or being the person in front of the camera selling stuff.
Right. So you seem like you have an idea as to what you want to get into, at least to start off.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Do you ever like get overwhelmed during these times and then like kind of like say whoa, like we're good?
All the time.
Do you meditate or anything, or how do you keep your mentals in check?
So I obviously get overwhelmed just because like, man, like I'm almost done with college now, and it's like,
the real world's a scary place.
Yeah, you got to. I'm thinking about like, man, where am I gonna go? Because I have one idea of what I want to do, but
do you want to go for your masters or no? Just go right into business.
I think I want to go right into business, for me at least.
Fair enough.
But is like, you're looking at that type of stuff, and it's like, yeah, I want to work at Corsair. It's like, what happens if that doesn't fall through? Where do I go? So that's the overwhelming part. But the main thing that I do to just keep myself sane, and this is something I was out of practice for a while, but I just got back into it, and it's keeping busy. That is my number one piece of advice for people when it comes.
Really?
Yeah. So the story behind that, real quick, was like into 2020. I went through a tough breakup. Like that's just keep it simple. I went through a tough breakup.
Yeah.
And the last thing I wanted to do was keep myself depressed. And when you go through something like that, you're stuck in a hole. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to talk to people. I'm going to have my friends. I'm going to chill with my friends. I'm going to talk to them. And I'm going to put myself on a daily schedule.
Good for you. That's unbelievably hard to do.
So my friends were there for me. They were amazing. I can't, if there's any chance that they're listening to this, which you better be.
Hey, shout out to y'all, the real ones.
Go follow him. They were there for me, and I couldn't be any more grateful for that. And they're still there for me now.
Yeah.
But the main thing is, like, my first full semester after that, when it happened, I made a schedule for myself. And I'm like, okay, I have this deadline for this homework assignment coming up. I'm going to finish that as homework assignment 3 days before the deadline. That'll give me this much time to do streaming stuff. This will give me this much time to do training to go to the gym. So I always I always try to be efficient, because once I got into that schedule, it wasn't even like I was holding myself to it. It was just routine. So now I was like, I got my work done early. I can stream. I can go training. I can go chill with friends. I had time for everything.
Nice.
Recently, like, that's been tough to do just because I had like other things pop up, and you can only fit so much in the 7 days a week, and like depending on what stuff you have, you only have certain times to do it.
Yeah.
So, but like just this year, I'm gonna try to I'm doing my best to get back in that schedule.
Yeah. So I took a gap year right after I graduated, and I worked 5 days a week for like a whole year.
Yeah.
And it's different when you're working a job rather than like a genuine career.
Yeah.
Where you're not as rushed or on the clock. But it was a whole new ball game.
Yeah.
And it was a ball game I wasn't ready for, but I'm glad I went through it.
Yeah.
Because it made me realize, I need to be in school right now.
Yeah.
I need to socialize and keep getting to know people, because I can't describe it. Because I can't stress this enough. Make your connections now.
Yeah.
Because especially, even whether it comes to work, whether it comes to relationships, friendships, whatever, when you're no longer in school, that window of opportunity kind of slowly diminishes. Yeah. Not necessarily like it's a detrimental thing, but it's just harder to find those people. So like I said, it's a whole new ball game. But when you set yourself up like how you have, or how we've talked about, man, it does such wonders. And take it day by day.
Exactly.
You can't. For me, it was one of those things where I always worried about what I can't control rather than what I can. And now that we're in this moment in time, just worry about the then when then is now. Yeah. And things eventually get there. But are you religious at all or anything, or
not? As I'm Catholic, but like I don't.
You grew up Catholic. But
I grew up Catholic, but like I'm not obviously as in practice as much as I was back then.
Yeah, I haven't gone to church in a long time. Man.
I haven't been back to church since I got confirmed.
Yeah, exactly. I think most people in our generation they don't treat it as hardcore as our parents or grandparents did. Yeah. But what are your thoughts on religion and stuff like that? Like, do you believe in a higher power? Do you believe we're just little bugs that have no purpose? What do you think?
I mean, obviously people can believe what they want. I still have my moments where I do, like, if there's something serious going on or I have something big coming up, I'll do a quick prayer, just like, hey, help me through this. Yeah. There are times when I'm like, there's definitely something out there that will, that's looking over you, and they're trying to, steer you in that right path. And honestly, that's the reason why I'm like, that's probably where I am now. Just because, like, whatever happened back then, that put me on the path of where I am now.
I like that. Yeah, I think I found my peace when it comes to a concept of God. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. You never know until you're dead. And that's a scary thing. Do you remember the first? Have you ever had that moment where you're like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna die one day"? Yeah. Did you have a whole shit? Have you had a holy shit moment? Yeah. When was your holy shit moment?
My holy shit moment. I was there was a moment. I don't remember how long ago it was, but it was around the time I started driving, and I nearly got T-boned.
Like crashed from the side?
Yeah, on driver's side.
What kind of car almost hit you? Do you remember?
Honestly, it was some type of muscle car. It might have been a Charger.
Boy, thick.
Yeah, it had a wide body on it, and I'm like, I I think it was somewhere. I think it was like Blueback, and I was trying to get to I think I was leaving the parking garage, and as I'm going to take my right at the light because I now had green, that dude just zoomed by me, and I was like already like past the corner where you start turning your wheel.
Yeah.
So that I'm like, oh shit, that almost happened.
Yeah.
The dude just kept going too.
Oh my god.
Like he veered and then kept going.
Is it the scariest thing that happened to you, or has there been something even crazier?
That was life threatening, that one. But I've had moments that were like way over exaggerated where I'm like, man, this sucks. Like I used to work at a trampoline park and I messed one of my right ankle up really badly. And I don't know if you ever had an injury so bad where you pass out, but that's what happened to me.
While you were on the clock, or while you were just there?
I was on break. So when you're at when you work at this trampoline park, or I guess this goes for any trampoline park, you get to jump for free.
Yeah.
And if you have a break and you have like a short break or a 30-minute break, you can jump during your time off as long as you're off the clock. And I was off the clock because since I was taking a 30, I clocked out for the break. And I go to jump, do this flip, but pretty much like I was doing a backflip on the trampoline, but you over rotate the backflip and land on your back. Ooh. So that's what I was doing. But pretty much what happened was my foot clipped the trampoline, but my upper body kept going. So when you watch those, like I don't know if they're fashion shows, but have you ever seen someone do a death drop? Where their leg is like this?
Yes, yeah.
That's pretty much what happened to me on the trampoline.
Hey, but you hit the hard part?
No, I was on the trampoline. It's just that it twisted my ankle. And
you just blacked out right after that?
So I instantly, because of the adrenaline, I got up and ran off the trampoline. I go, I fucked up. And as my manager and our assistant manager and one of the other coworkers I was with were like, helping me bring me to our back room.
Yeah.
I'm like, I pass out in their shoulders on the way there.
So what'd you do the rest of the shift?
Well, luckily we were only an hour away from closing.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
But because that's my right foot and you have to drive with your right foot, I had to get my parents to pick me up from work, and one of them got my car and drove home.
Hey, shout out to the parents.
Yeah.
Nah, but I remember it was during COVID too.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened or how it came over me, but I was just sitting here. So back when I did have my PlayStation 5, it's actually in the back and it's broken. My motherboard somehow fried. Not even 2 years of having a PS5.
Wow.
How does that happen? Explain that to me. Everything's fine, Sean. The circuits are fine. It's not. It was a new PlayStation, Sean. Unless you think you could revive my PlayStation in the back.
If it's a motherboard, the only way to do that is either get a new one or we have to find a PS5 motherboard to replace it.
That's exactly what they told me. So it's dead. I'm gonna sell it for parts. That's pretty much my options. But I was playing my PlayStation 5 and my friends were playing Warzone. I think we just won the match we were just playing. And I don't know if I was like watching something or listening to something, but I just remember it was like, you ever just like get into like a really deep conversation, or like let's say you're in a moment where it's like an out of body experience. It's like the person talking to you sounds like Charlie Brown's parents or his mom.
Yeah.
And you're just kind of like
you're not there. Yeah.
So that's what was kind of happening, and it was just like, oh my God, like I'm gonna die one day.
Yep.
What the fuck? Like why? Why do I have to die? Why am I here?
Yeah.
And I just started asking, and it just kept spiraling. Not in like a depressive state, but it was like a what the fuck?
Yeah.
We were chosen. Like do you know how hard it is? I was talking about this with my friends. Do you know how hard it is to even exist? And now we gotta exist just to die. Like what the hell, man?
But one of the things that pops up in my head, probably more often than I'd like to, is I don't know why it is, but like when you go to sleep, right? Mm-hmm. You wake up the next day and it's like that moment of you sleeping was like that. But in reality, it's like what if you're healthy, 9 hours of sleep, right?
The way time passes when you sleep.
Yeah. One of the things that I've thought of is like, man, so I have to die, and if dying is an eternal sleep, and for some reason in my head, I'm like, okay, so I'm going to wake up like that, but I'm going to be reincarnated as another person. I'm going to wake up in someone else's eyes.
If it's reincarnation, that's probably what's going to happen.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, what if I just wake up in someone else's eyes? Like, that's what I've always, that's what.
Yeah, have you ever heard the theory where it's the when you see the light before you die, it's a light in the hospital room. Have you ever heard that theory?
Yes, that's what I keep thinking.
It's because you wake up as a new baby and like you're crying because you left everything behind.
Yeah,
that's fucked up.
And
man.
I'm like, I don't know if that's real.
You just lose all your memories.
You don't know, because here's the thing: it's death. You don't know what's real or what's not.
No. Yeah, I mean, for all I know, I could have been Lincoln. You could have been Washington. I don't know.
Pretty much, yeah.
I could have been Genghis Khan. I don't know, some crazy shit. Yeah, it's such a weird thing to think about, and that's the whole thing. We have to take it day by day.
Yes.
It's okay to have these thoughts once in a while, but we just have to deal with the reality in which we're given.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy to think about. Like, we're just chilling on a ball, floating through space.
Yep.
No pain, no mind. Like, it's nuts to me. I don't know. Do you, other than some of the hobbies that obviously you're well versed in, do you ever do anything on the side? Like, do you collect shoes? Do you go fishing? Like, what else you do whenever you can? Do you like to travel? Have you ever wanted to travel?
I've always wanted to travel, but never really had the opportunity for that.
Where would you want to go?
Where would I want to go? Honestly, I have only been to a few states in this country. I want to start off with just exploring where we are now before I go outside the country.
I mean, Connecticut's a pretty solid home base, I'd
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
I like it.
One of the first places I definitely want to go to Cali.
Yeah? What's out there in Cali for you?
Honestly, doing photo shoots in LA.
That's something I want to get into.
Yeah.
That's why I would love to get a camera, not just for recording.
Yeah.
I love documenting and taking photos.
To answer your question, that's one of the things.
Such a nice thing to do on the side. It's like it's such a it's kind of like therapy.
Yeah.
It's such a nice little art form. It's so nice, like just like cutting hair.
Yeah.
But that'd be sick. You get into photo shoots and stuff.
Yeah.
What if you eventually on the side somehow started going to concerts and being like celebrities or like your favorite artists are their personal photographers?
That's always been in my mind to do like event photography, because here's the thing, like I would say 2021ish is when I got my camera. And pretty much what happened with the PC stuff is what happened with my cameras. Like, I don't want to use just webcam quality for my streams. I want to try to get into cameras. And then when I looked into cameras, like, this is a lot more in-depth than I thought.
It is.
So I bought my camera. About a month after I got the camera, I got a better lens and a microphone. So I started doing photo shoots for people. That's what I was like, one of my other side hustles to do to get some money in.
You want to tell the people your prices? If you're still doing it.
I'm still doing it. It's right now just $70 an hour, and I don't charge for the editing time. If you look at like actual people who like if a professional photographer, there's a hiring fee, then a certain amount of like X amount of dollars per hour, and then X amount of dollars per hour of editing.
Do you recommend people like what you think they should do and like certain spots and stuff like that too? Or
Locations?
Do you just have them tell you what they want?
So I'll ask them first, like, hey, do you have a spot where you want to go? And if they tell me, then I'll go to it. If not, I have a few places like that I always have in mind of where we could go. There's a few spots I want to go to, so I always have a few spots. There's some, even a simple Google search, like you can get some good locations.
Do you know what like the greatest photo you've ever taken to date is? I have a favorite one.
I have a few. Like one of my favorite ones, I did a garage photo. I did a parking garage photo shoot on campus with one of my friends.
Yeah.
And some of my favorite shots were it was one of my friends, and she was pretty much like in the car, but she's sitting out the window, like she's peeking her top half of her body out the window, and I took a bunch of shots of that.
Nice.
Back in summer 21, one of my friends from Massachusetts came down to visit me. We went down to Rocky Neck, took a bunch of shots there. I like those, one, because she looks great in them. Yeah. Two, she's also repping my merch.
Oh, nice. That's what's up.
Yeah.
How did you get into merch? How did that process start for you?
Once I got affiliated with Twitch, I think I could have made it well before I got affiliated, but I'm like, oh, I can start making money. But after I got affiliated, I was looking at my site where I get all my not just Twitch revenue, but like sponsorships and stuff. So I was like, that page, I'm like, oh, I can make a shop now. Mm-hmm. So I took my artwork for my logos that my friend made for me, and I told him like, hey, can I make merch out of this? Like he honestly, like, it was such a simple thing for him. Like he's like, yeah, do whatever you want with the logo. I don't care. I'm like, okay, right. I asked you for that. But pretty much like I went to the shop. I made I started choosing what I want to put on there. So there's like shirts, hoodies, mugs, stickers, and stuff like that, all with my logo on them. I'm planning on updating it I'm trying to talk to one of my friends to rebrand and make like a new logo for me, so I can have some new merch and also just show it up on stream and stuff. But
once I get enough support on Anchor, because that's like what I use to put out the podcast and that, like for Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all that stuff. Once I forget the number, but once I get somehow, that's when I can start getting like ad reads and stuff potentially. I just want to be able to do that so bad. Yeah. I would have so much fun with the ad reads. That's like the one thing I'm looking. That's like another like goal of mine. Or at least it's next. Do you post your clips on TikTok or anything?
I'm actually going to start doing that.
I need to start doing that. It's
one of the things I haven't actually done yet, but I plan on to. The only thing that's tricky for me is because it's TikTok. If you're looking at your phone, that's a 1080 by 1920 resolution rather than a 1920 by 1080 resolution, which is what we normally see like that TV. It's vertical. So a lot of the things I film, especially on obviously Twitch or with my camera or most of my phones, I'm in landscape. I'm always by 1920 and 1080.
Exactly.
So it's more, if you want to make it look clean, it's more how do you say? You have to invest more time to edit that clip for Twitch. Yeah. Or from Twitch to TikTok.
You do.
Because like, here's the thing about me and if I want to post Twitch clips, it's like my game is this, right? And then this is my camera. How am I going to make that all fit in a one screen and make everything visible? It's hard to do.
It can be frustrating.
Yeah.
But yeah, eventually, you know, if depending on however people use it, you eventually start being consistent, and then the algorithms go your way.
Yeah.
And then,
one of the things I plan on posting Twitch clips on TikTok. One of the things, because I have lavalier microphones for my camera now, which is pretty much like a wireless mic.
Nice.
Because I have that, one of the things I've been doing, which is my recent vlog, which I'm going to take clips of and put on TikTok. One of my ideas I've seen a lot of people do is being mic'd up in the gym.
Yes.
That is one of the things I'm going to start doing.
I saw the funniest meme last week, and it was a guy who tweeted some shit, and he said, I was just getting a workout in, and I looked at a phone recording on the ground. He was like prayers for me, y'all. Because of like the whole thing where it's like girls are trying to like
record themselves at the gym.
Record themselves at the gym, and like they sniff the guys out that like look at them.
For a single second, what a creep.
Yeah, what the guy was like, I literally did nothing wrong. He said pray for me, I did nothing wrong. I just looked at a girl's phone when she was recording at the gym by accident. And there was like all these memes. Oh my god, it was so funny. I couldn't get enough of it. But yeah, gym content is definitely an all-time high these days. I fuck with that.
Yeah, there's like that gym I was just at where I made my vlog about it. It was called Arsons. That place is amazing.
Yeah.
Next Friday, a week from now, I'm going to one of my friends' gyms. It's called Lightning, which is even just it's bigger than Arsons, and it has a lot of equipment. So that's gonna be a very fun thing to film for me.
Yeah. So do you wanna post like you hyping people up at the gym, your lifts and everything, like in a whole montage of like what
I'm gonna do all that. Right now, like a lot of the things I film is just me because I've been I go to the gym pretty much almost always alone. My girlfriend is gonna start coming back to the gym with me, but as of right now, like all the things I filmed are just me. Next week is gonna be my first like gym vlog with someone.
Do you take supplements or anything?
All I do right now is pre-workout and creatine. That's it.
And how's that work for you?
Well, within the last month, I've gotten 3 new PRs, so the creatine is definitely helping.
You must drink a shit ton of water, no?
Oh, yeah. So, like, when I took pre-workout, that was just because, you know, I want to start working out in the morning, so that's just my energy.
So what exactly does pre-workout do for you? Is that, like, instead of drinking coffee?
Yeah, pretty much. It gives you...
It's mixed it with water, you're good to go?
Yeah, so it's another form of caffeine. It has, like, X amount of, like, you know, depending on what brand, there's X amounts of caffeine in there. A little, like some of them come with different grams of creatine already inside of it, but like most of it gives you the energy boost, so you feel real good, and also because of the creatine inside of it, you also get a little bit better pumps when it comes to your workout.
So people say pumps. Describe what a pump is.
So a pump is if you just if I flex my bicep right now, like there's the natural just normal muscle in there that can feel flex and swell up. Mm-hmm. A pump is all that loose skin. Here, let me actually show you. Mm-hmm. All the loose skin that's here, when you get a pump, that's not loose anymore. That's all tightened up.
Really?
You have a bigger swelling of the muscle when you flex. It's tighter there. and it's bigger in volume.
How long does that last for?
It honestly sometimes it depends on the person, but for me, like it'll last for like maybe an hour or two.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
That's good to know. Like I mean, I used to work out all the time. I still work out. I just do more like calisthenics stuff.
Yeah.
But when I was playing football in high school, like I never really heard the term pump.
Yeah.
But now I do all the time. I'm like, what the fuck's a pump?
Yeah,
Like I get it, but I've never seen it or like never felt it. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, it's literally like you pump up the muscle.
Gotcha.
Pretty much.
No, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Do you have a brand that's worked best for you? If you were to put anybody on?
So like the thing is, I just started taking supplements like within the last month. The pre-workout I use, not sponsored, is called Beyond Raw. So it's called Beyond Raw, and the flavor of pre-workout I'm using is the fruit punch flavor, which
Ooh.
that's a good thing. The pre-workout, you can find some pretty good flavors on it. Like Beyond Raw have a bunch of nice flavors that have to do like fruit stuff. Like they have like Jolly Rancher flavors as well, like Swedish fish flavors. They have really nice ones.
Yeah.
Right now I'm just using the fruit punch one, and then creatine. The thing about creatine is that one, always get monohydrate. The reason why is because that pretty much is always going to be unflavored. So you just mix it with water, you're just going to be drinking water. It might taste like a little bit different, maybe like a slightly salty water, but not really. Mm-hmm. I use the creatine monohydrate from Redcon, but again, any form of monohydrate is going to be fine because it's not going to make too much of a difference.
How exactly does creatine break down everything in your body?
So the thing is, obviously you need to drink a lot of water. Pretty much what creatine does, it enhances strength. It does help with the pump, and also a lot of how do you say it? Like fat loss. So pretty much like the best way to utilize it is like you take your pre-workout, obviously before the workout, you finish your workout, and you drink with your water 5 grams of creatine. That's what I always do.
From what you know, is it highly recommended you take it just purposely for weightlifting, or could you take it, drink a lot of water, and then do like HIIT workouts and like cardio and stuff?
It's anything exercise really.
Really?
Yeah. Like even when I'm doing like because like obviously I try to do the big lifts.
Yeah.
But like I want to train bodybuilder-esque type things, you know, just because I want to get more developed with my body. Especially after my injury, I gained a lot of weight, and a lot of it went to here. Yeah. So I have to work to get back to where I was. So, I do like whether it's a powerlifting day or like just like a normal like bodybuilding day, I guess you could say. Everything will end off with 5 grams of that creatine.
What do you do for core?
For core, the thing is like a lot of it right now, almost nothing. Like most of it's cardio. Anything that's gonna really get my heart rate up, and I have to, have to take a lot of breaths. Yeah. That's what I'm doing right now, just because, like, yeah, you can do, like, core workouts, but that will strengthen it. But, like, if you ask a lot of, like, if you have any friends who've done bodybuilding, or if you watch, like, people who, like, do bodybuilding workouts, a lot of them, at least from what I've asked, a lot of them don't do actual ab workouts to get a six-pack or to get their abs defined.
They just do HIIT workouts, right?
Yeah. Obviously, like, there's dieting.
Like instead of, yeah. Obviously, you've got to be good in the kitchen. Yeah. Do you meal prep or anything?
Meal prep, not really. I'm going to at some point, but a lot of things, like, I already have a good protein intake, and a lot of my, I've cut down on portions, and a lot of my stuff is, like, real basic, like, yeah. Breakfast is always pretty much, like, rice and eggs, and, like, chicken, which is really simple. Not too much red meat.
Yeah, for breakfast, I usually drink this... it's not. I mean, I guess it's like a protein shake, but it's like a breakfast shake, just to put it that way, with like certain supplements and stuff in it. Yeah. And then I'm on meal prep for lunch and dinner. I've been doing that for like a month now.
So, are you doing it yourself, or did you?
Me and my mom. We portion it on everything into these little like trays,
plastic containers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know. So. Yeah. That's pretty much what I've been on.
That's what I'm going to start doing.
It helps so much because my mind, my body tells me when I'm full. Yeah. But when I first start eating, like I'm so used to like when I was playing football, my metabolism, like I can just inhale a whole tray. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like I have to like keep myself in check and discipline now because I can't afford to do that anymore. Yeah. But it's just it's a whole new ball game.
I want to start doing the meal prep mainly because I think it's gonna also save me money.
Oh my god!
For the most part, because here's the thing: like, since I don't meal prep, anytime I have to eat, and because I'm on campus for so long, the only place I can really go to eat is Devil's, and that can get
the food is so good too.
It's good, but like for a simple meal, you can pay like almost $11 for it.
Yeah, seriously.
And I'm like, I need to save money.
Oh my god, I forgot what I was just gonna say. It literally had to do with food. Oh my god, it escapes me.
Was it meal prep wise or?
Must not been important. just say something. Let's just start something else. Oh, let's talk about cinema for a little bit. What about TVs? What kind of shows you be watching?
My shows, what did I just finish watching recently? Number one recommendation right now. This is really controversial because of how the second game went, but watch The Last of Us on HBO, man.
I've been watching it.
Dude.
It's fantastic.
Dude, The Last of Us.
They got it right.
Yeah, here's the thing. One, almost every video game adaptation to a movie or show fucking sucks.
It's terrible.
They're almost always bad. Mm-hmm. Like Uncharted was meh at best. And two, Last of Us within the last decade has become one of the most controversial things of all time. Because here's the thing.
Yeah, break that down.
With part one on Last of Us, the first game, it was pretty much unanimous that everyone loved it. There was nothing that really people did not like about it.
It's part two, huh?
Part two comes out, all of a sudden you split the community in half. Now you have the people who absolutely love it because of the story writing, and then people who hate it because of the story writing.
So you can talk about it. If you don't want to hear spoiler, I'll say spoiler alert. I'll say it's been said.
Yep. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert. You can fast forward. I'm just saying, or just leave and just make sure you follow before you leave.
Yeah.
But you want to say why, like, or why that is?
Okay, so Joel, who is the main character of part one, and pretty much who has become the goat of all time, the best, the greatest character but worst man alive. Because that's the thing. If you look at him, he's a great character.
That's true.
Amazingly written
because
character.
What happens at the end of one, right?
But he has done some really bad things.
Yeah.
Right. In part two, your main character now is Ellie because they off Joel. And a lot of people were initially angry because you offed the main character. But the thing is, that is not what defines if a game is bad or not. You guys still have to look at the writing. So there are people who actually look beyond that. It's like, yeah, here's the thing. The people who offed him, like the characters who offed Joel, they had a valid reason of doing it. And then
they did.
Like, it's like, yeah, he's done some really bad things if you think about it. And then people didn't like that pretty much almost the second half of the game, like a good portion of the game, like 10 hours of it, you have to play as the person who killed Joel. You have to play as Abby.
You do.
Yeah. And the thing is, but then you start realizing her story.
With all the great games and shows,
yeah,
you'll hate someone off the rip, and then the great shows do this.
Yeah.
They show their side of the tale, and then it's like, oh, I get it now.
With how the second game split up the community, that just shows that they did good writing, because now you have people having full-on debates about it. So they're now HBO is making it into a show, and Neil Druckmann, who wrote the game, is also working on the show with one his co-writer for the show is one of the writers from Chernobyl.
Really?
Yeah, that's why the show is doing really well.
And I know that one of the reasons why the adaptations fail is because they never stayed true to what it was,
the source material,
and they also never run it by the creator, right?
Exactly.
That's what they always be saying.
Yeah, like Halo was one of the worst ones of all time.
Really?
When they made the Halo TV show, one of the worst things of all time, because
flopped.
The writer even goes, I've never played a single second of Halo. It's like, well, okay, this is gonna be bad.
Yeah.
But since Neil Druckmann is one of the people helping with the show, it's great. Even the best part is, like, if you pay attention to the show, they have cameos from from actors and actresses in the game.
Yeah.
Like, the person who plays Marlene in the show is the voice actor for Marlene in the game. And then, like, you have some future cameos from Troy Baker, Ashley Johnson.
If they were able to get the ones from the video game in the show, that would have been so nice.
Yeah.
But obviously they're much older, so it's different.
But they're staying pretty true. They've moved stuff around, but the thing is, it's the things that happen to the show in terms of change were done by Neil himself.
Nice.
So they're not just like mindless changes. It's like, no, Neil reflected on what he did from the game and changed it to what would make more sense.
The new episode actually comes out, I think, in an hour or so, because they're dropping it early because of the Super Bowl. Did you hear about that?
Oh, really?
Yeah, so today we're recording on Friday. It's dropping today.
I have to check that out then. I did not know about that.
Yeah, they're dropping the new episode today.
Ooh.
Which I'll be watching. So, if you're a big fan of that, have you ever seen Walking Dead? You ever been a fan of Walking Dead?
Watch the entire show, start to end.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm glad you're here, because I stopped watching after
Was it Glenn?
No. after they killed off Rick.
Oh, so season 9?
It was like he was on the bridge.
Yeah.
There's so many seasons.
The thing is, like, if spoiler alert again, but if you watch it, you know that he's not dead, right?
Yeah, because he's gonna be.
He got taken by the CRA, something like that.
The Fear of the Walking Dead, right?
Morgan.
I think Morgan, like a spin-off.
Yeah, Morgan is on Fear of the Walking Dead now. I watched season 10 was okay. Season 11 they brought it back. In my opinion, I really enjoyed season 11.
Really.
And then I watched all 3 parts of that. They're gonna be doing 3 spin-off series. One of them's called Dead City, which is Morgan and Maggie, or not Negan and Maggie. And Maggie, which is even more insane.
Negan is an incredible character.
His character development has been insane. You'll love him in season 11 if you go back into it.
I might have to finish it because I got so far.
I mean, if you got past season, if you're in season 9, you only got 2 more to watch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Negan and Maggie is going to be in Dead City. Then there's going to be a Daryl series, just Daryl himself.
Nice.
It was supposed to be Daryl and Carol, but I think they had to change it for whatever reason. But pretty much it's going to be a Daryl season or a Daryl show. And then there's going to be, I don't know if it's a series or if it's going to be a movie, but there is going to be something happening for Michonne and Rick.
The thing is I get it, like you want to do split, but I don't like the way they did it.
Yeah.
I thought it was poorly done.
Yeah.
Because like on the bridge and he just disappears, like you would have seen him go away.
Yeah.
Taken away.
Yeah.
All I don't know. I just kind of stopped watching. All my favorite characters were gone.
Yeah, by season 11.
It's like all the side characters.
Yeah, by season 11, the only OG characters left from season 1 are Daryl and Carol. They're the only ones left. But the thing is, like, the thing about Walking Dead is, like, they really do have their moments. And the actors on the show are incredible. Like, when you watch Negan's transformation, he plays a great Negan.
Oh, my God, yeah.
In season 10, there's an episode, I believe it's season 10, there's an episode where you actually see Negan's background and how he became the person who he is.
Oh, wow.
It was amazing.
I think I actually have seen a clip of it, if I'm not mistaken. Like, a montage.
Yeah.
But my favorite moment of Walking Dead, I'll never forget this. There's, like, 2. It was when Rick and I forget who he was with, but they were surrounded at gunpoint or whatever, and he like bites the dude's throat or like his ear or whatever.
It was him. It was him and the Claimers. It was after the prison was destroyed and they all got separated. Daryl ended up temporarily joining the Claimers, and they ran into Rick, Michonne, and Carl. And that's where that clip is from.
That episode was nuts. And then when they were with the cannibal village.
Yep.
And they were all lined up about to die, and then just shit went down, and they just took them all out. It was nuts. That one was insane. And then obviously one of the most infamous cliffhangers in TV show history was when they're all lined up by Negan.
Oh my God!
Meeny, miny, mo, and everyone's trying to figure out who got picked for like months.
Yep.
Everyone wants to know who was picked. And then when I forget the guy with the orange hair, the ginger guy, Abraham. Yep. It was like okay, like it sucks. Abraham was a G, and then he was like okay, back to it. Glenn. One of the saddest deaths ever, and it was so gross. It was so realistic. It was so disturbing. Oh, that one hurt.
Yeah, I remember. I don't know. I honestly think I was a sophomore in high school when that season dropped.
That one hurt.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite video game ever, or the favorite video games?
Favorite video game. Okay. I mean, I grew up playing a lot of Call of Duty, but I can't really. I mean, Black Ops 2 was one of the ones that I invested a lot of time in when I was a kid. Like, I remember...
Josefina!
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, Black Ops 1 and 2 were, like, games... I remember Black Ops 1. I invested so much time on my Xbox 360 because of Black Ops 1 that the heat of it cracked my disc.
Jeez.
That's how much time I put into the game. But for favorite game of all time, and if I'm thinking, like, more than just, like, the time I put into it...
It could just be whatever
Last of Us Part 1 is up there just because that is an emotional
such a great game.
Emotional roller coaster.
Yeah.
This is probably going to be up there just because I've just played it. It just came out. God of War and God of War Ragnarok.
Dude, so obviously because I can't play it, I don't care. I love doing this where I watch the full gameplay with like no like certain cuts.
Yeah.
Or it's like you skip like some of the battles, but like they show the main stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like no comments here, no nothing. You just see the full game.
Yep.
It like perfectly done. Incredible
movie. Full on
incredible.
movie.
What were your thoughts on it? Like, what was like? Did you favorite the game?
Absolutely. People are shitting on it. Or some people shut out because, like, man, Kratos isn't what he used to be. Like, no wonder! They did that on purpose. They're changing him so he can grow up. And
He's getting older.
Yeah, like, God of War 2018, he was still in that transition of trying to become better than what he was before. Like, he was just fresh off of that boat trying to, and he's still dealing with it. And he's still trying to be a father because he wasn't able to really fulfill that because of like his origin story.
Mm-hmm.
Then God of War Ragnarok, now it's not so much of him trying to be not as violent, how he's like just trying to change himself. Now he's truly just like, I need to be there for my son.
Yeah.
And he will do anything to protect his son. Like, that's him being a father, and he has to realize there are things that you have to do that you're not gonna like, but if you have to do it as a father, you're gonna do it. And that's what's so amazing about it. They're like the scenes that he has with Atreus is like, man, like that's what's gonna happen as a kid grows up, and then you get towards the end and you're gonna start crying.
Do you think eventually it's just gonna be where Atreus is the main character and eventually Kratos
I think they're gonna do. My thing is like they can't just make an Atreus game and call it a game of God of War. Obviously, I think they're gonna make either DLC or maybe its own standalone game for Atreus himself.
I like that.
But I know that they're planning on keeping the God of War series going for a while. Like, I don't know if it's true, but there's been like a lot of theories about how they're going to be visiting the other types of mythology because they've done Greek, they now have done Nordic. There are words that they might either do Egyptian or Celtic because there are like certain parts of like 2018's game where it shows him and the other symbols of
and what deities would be in those games or gods?
If it was whatever. Egyptian, you're gonna be looking at people like Anubis, god of death. Wow, I really don't know Egyptian.
Yeah.
I don't even know Celtic. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like I haven't because here's the thing about me when it comes to mythology. Like obviously everyone knows Greek.
Yeah.
Everyone knows Greek because that's the most popular ones. You see it in Marvel. You see it in Disney. Mm-hmm. You see it everywhere. Nordic, you don't see too much of. Like you obviously see Thor.
Yeah.
And the Thor stuff when it comes to Marvel stuff, but like actual traditional Nordic stuff, you don't see too much of.
Yeah.
But I'm a bigger fan of Viking stuff, which is why I like it. Egyptian stuff. I think the only time you ever really see Egyptian stuff is when you're in school.
If you like Viking stuff, you ever seen Vinland Saga?
I've heard about it, but I've
anime?
never actually watched it.
It's like a newer anime. The new season just dropped.
Where is it on?
Netflix.
I have to check that out.
Or anywhere. I know plenty of sites.
Yeah.
But dog,
fire.
I
love Viking stuff, so I'm gonna have to add that to my list.
I mean, I usually watch my anime in sub.
Yeah.
In this case, I mean, a friend told me this, and I kind of agreed with him. He said it doesn't make sense to have Viking speaking Japanese.
That is true.
So it's kind of pick and choose your battle there.
Mm-hmm.
I chose to go dub with that one.
Yeah.
Still really good.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it, but yeah, those are some pretty solid shout-outs. But you ever play were you ever heavy into like Nintendo or Pokemon or anything?
Pokemon, no. Nintendo, one of the games that honestly, I mean, even it's kind of recent. I think it's like 2017 because it was originally it might have been later than that or earlier than that. It came out for the Wii U. Breath of the Wild,
the perfect game.
Yeah. It's amazing. Like I'm still in the middle of playing it.
So when I had my Switch, that was one of the first games I played, and it came to a point I was so frustrated because I was fighting one of the bosses and I ran out of arrows, and then I just didn't know how to get more arrows again, and I was like asked out, and I didn't want to start the game over.
Yep.
And I was running, I was looking stuff up, and like nothing helped me.
Yeah.
So I just rage quit and just stopped. So I'm probably just gonna rewatch the game.
Yeah.
Perfectly done, but the Zelda games are perfectly done. They're perfectly made.
Yep.
They're like one of those what is it, like Shadow of the Colossus type?
Yep.
Like it's
it's literally
well written.
What's amazing about it is they did it in a like when they wrote that game, like it's amazingly done. Mm-hmm. And the best part is that it's not narrow. It's such an I know it's an open world game, but it's an open ended game. And what I mean by that is like insert, let's say it's like something like Assassin's Creed. They give you this whole world, but like a mission is like you have to do it in certain acts. You have like Act 1, this amount of missions, Act 2, Act 3, and then each mission is like you have to go to this location. Zelda, or let's say Breath of the Wild, theoretically, right out the bat, you can just go to the final boss. You know, like you can just go and like beat the bosses, get the game done. It's not recommended, which is why it's so open-ended. You can choose your own path of how you want to go about it.
It's an insanely difficult game because there's so much to accomplish.
Exactly.
And
now the new one's coming out too.
Yeah, it's gonna be so good. Yeah, no, these Switch games and these newer Nintendo games have just been on one. Yeah. I love what they're doing in this newer generation of gaming.
Yeah.
No, but that's pretty solid. I think we're at that time.
Okay.
Because we just talked about favorite video games and stuff like that. Do you think you're ready to name some of the other things?
Yeah.
All right. Let's start with that one that you've mentioned, if you can.
Yeah.
Favorite TV show and or movie or both to recommend?
TV show, that's not The Last of Us, I would say I just watched it. It's on Amazon Prime. And it's either, honestly, in my opinion, I feel like it needs more recognition. Reacher, because there was the original movie series that had Tom Cruise who played Jack Reacher, but the new one that they made a series out of is amazing. Or The Boys. If you want to see some controversial shit,
I started watching
The Boys,
and I'm on season 3 with like 3-4 episodes to go. Dog, I just saw. How far are you in The Boys? Have you seen it all?
I've watched it all.
Okay. I just passed the part, I'm like an episode past the part where I finally saw the iconic Homelander speech. But he's on the stage where he was like, I will not apologize for my strength or whatever.
Yep.
That actor that played his Homelander, like there could never be another guy to play that part. He literally embodies the role to a T. Yep. I never thought that I would like Homelander as much as I do. Well, he's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
But the character, he's a G. It's just a character.
It's crazy.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. I'm glad you shouted that out because
So and then movie, I would, because I'm a martial artist, I would say there's 4 of them right now, but my favorite one right now is Ip Man 3.
Ooh, Ip Man. My dad grew me up on that stuff, and like Jet Li, Kiss of the Dragon. I love that shit.
Just real quick, Donnie Yen, who plays in at least the main most known Ip Man movies, Donnie Yen, who plays Ip Man.
Yeah,
he's gonna be, I don't know if he's an antagonist or not, but the new John Wick movie he's gonna be in.
No. Oh, you know that
it's gonna be, because the thing about John Wick movies is that they're trying to bring all of the bigger martial arts action like names from like out of like, you know, the other side of the world. They're bringing them into the John Wick movies.
They do such a good job.
They do it so good,
dude. John Wick is badass. Good recommendations. Yeah. Good shouts. All right, let's go music. I know that you have a very interesting taste in music compared to most, but I respect it.
So I listen to more hard rock and metal stuff.
No.
My recommendation for someone who wants to try to get into that type of music but don't want to start too heavy, the band is called Dayseeker, and the album is called Sleep Talk. It's a good mix of like you know, like normal, or not normal, but like, you know, like rock, hard rock, and then some like metal stuff that has some screams in it. That's a good starter to get into that genre.
Yeah, I love there's certain metal songs like Black Ops 1 Zombies, we do the Easter egg thing.
Oh my god,
that song gets me going.
Yeah,
that one gets me going.
115 Alina Sigmund.
There's so I if I'm not mistaken, I think you know the song. I don't know if you watch the show. Have you ever seen Attack on Titan? Like you watch it?
Are you talking about the Rumbling? Yep.
Yeah. That song goes crazy.
It's possibly my favorite theme.
It goes crazy. And then there's something I'm missing, but I don't think that one was as important. But no. There's certain metal that I fuck with, man. But there was, oh my god, when I used to work at this concert theater, it was always the heavy metal bands that scared the living shit out of me.
Yep.
Because you would get some really fucked up people to go to those concerts.
Yeah.
Like really disturbing people. Like sometimes they would be like satanic heavy metal.
Yeah.
And I'm here with like a cross like praying to God, like please Lord forgive these people.
Yeah, like I'm not into the Satan metal.
Oh yeah, no, obviously that's different, but yeah, the heavy metal shit gets intense.
Yeah, that's my gym music right there.
Yeah, there you go. Oh my God, that's solid. I respect it though.
Yeah,
and then finally, some words of advice and or wisdom, whether it's to your future self, whether it's to your parents, lovely viewers and listeners,
honestly,
whoever it is,
for really anyone, other than trying to just keep yourself on a daily schedule, because that's obviously like if you want to try to keep your life on track, that's the best way to go about it. If you're trying to keep yourself occupied, well, actually that might be it. Just keep yourself occupied, whether it be mentally or physically, and don't limit yourself to one thing. Try out a lot of new stuff, because then you don't know if it's actually something that you might want to get into or not. If you see something that you think would be that you, let's say, watch on YouTube and it's fun, try it out yourself, whether it be something like going to the gym or going into photography, trying out drawing, stuff like that. If you try it out and you enjoy it, it will soon like take up a good amount of your life, and it can be therapeutic for you.
That was very well said, Sean. This was a pleasure to finally have you on.
Absolutely.
This was incredible. I appreciate all of you guys for listening and tuning in. If you have made it up to this point, I really do. With that said, everyone has a story and it's still being written. I encourage everyone to keep striving, keep going in life. My heart is with you all. Ciao for now, people. Peace.